seconds. Unload with all your weapons.
Light the fires and kick the tires. Go with dragon fire. Never stop the fight. Keep the fires burning bright.
Shadows dance on ancient walls. Laughter's echo rings in the halls of heroes' lore, where every legend sings.
Through the storm and tempest, fearless we remain. With a heart of burning flame, we conquer every plane. Light the fires and kick the tires. Go with dragon fire. Never stop the fight. Keep the fires bright.
Shadows dance on ancient walls. Laughter's echo rings in the halls of heroes' lore, where every legend sings. Loki's mornings of mischief. Raise your horns high and scream.
Skull and tuck and roll.
Chase the fire and dream.
Loki brings the laughter. Zeropium brings the pain. ZeroHour beckons. Unload with all your weapons. Light the fires and kick the tires. Go with dragon fire. Never stop the fight. Keep the fires burning bright. Through the storm and tempest, fearless we remain. With a heart of burning flame, we conquer every plane.
Be great, be excellent to each other. Always be friend to mentor. Loki's mornings of mischief. Welcome to 0 Hour.
Greetings, one and all, and welcome to 0 Hour here on Mornings of Mischief. I am your host, Stone Loki. Good morning, everybody. How's everybody out there doing this morning? Big shout out to my co-host, Zeropium, who saw a movie over the weekend. Oh my God, and we're going to talk about it because, yeah, and then we're going to talk about some other, Okay.
All right.
But before we get to that, big shout out, guys. If you have not subscribed to That Game Place, what are you doing? Get your butts over there. We have been talking about some crazy stuff. We've been talking about Ubisoft Star Wars Outlaws. We've been talking about the Assassin Poo game. We've been talking about all of these different stuff, everything that's going on that's crazy, and we are being honest. If you want honest game reviews and honest talk about games, head over to That Game Place with Cultures Casino, Jonas, all those crazy cats, Space Dave, all those crazy guys, and hear our talk about video games, because I tell you what, IGN took another one up the pooper scooper from Ubisoft this weekend, and they gave Star Wars Outlaws a 7. They gave it a 7. This game's not even done. They're like, oh, it's gone gold. It's not even done. There are so many problems with it that are absolutely unreal, and yet they gave this game a 7. So it only works half the time, and the game barely functions, but we're going to give it a 7 because it's stunning and brave. So if you have not subscribed to That Game Place, get your butts over there. Zero, what is going on, brother? How are you doing this morning?
I got a question. Thank you, my brother. And by the way, it is great to see everybody in chat this morning. Really quick, no, Pat S. I have not seen the new Crow. There is no new Crow. It's fine. So we'll just get that one out of the way. Anyway, great to see you all in chat this morning. I hope your week is off to a fantastic start as we're starting to close the summer out, but you wouldn't know it here. It's still 30 degrees outside, but I'm doing all right. I hope you're doing all right. I know this guy's doing all right.
All right. Got my Nostromo gear on this morning because we're talking about aliens.
Yeah, I know we're a little bit behind the times on this, but Zero finally got a chance to sink his teeth into this newest installment in the franchise this weekend. And I know what we left off on last week, and we still probably had a lot to say about it. And now that I'm all caught up to speed, we can get a little bit more into it. So I hope you're all ready for that. So again, really quick spoiler alert for everybody out there who has not seen this yet. If you don't care to see it, then don't worry about it. If you haven't and you want to, we'll wait. Anyway, so yeah, we're gonna get into it this morning. As soon as Loki's good to go. I don't know if you want to do a roll call or not, but
oh yeah, we're gonna do a roll call. Hell yeah, Snorter Poops Cuber, my favorite polar bear on YouTube is here. Soul Assassin, what is up, brother? Pat S, it's Pat's. Good morning, my friend. Penny, what is up, Penny? Good morning, Penny. Big hug goes out to Penny. Psychodorp 9. What's up, brother? Good morning. How are you doing? Justice da Palina. What is up? 30. That's below freezing.
30,
yeah.
30 Celsius. Sorry. It's probably going to get higher than that.
The lady, Arwen Avalon, the queen of missing forks and hooter owls and rainbow gummies and unicorn somethings.
And bacon flavored sausages.
Sausages.
Sorry, that's dog
sausages.
Food. That's the dog food. She's the cat lady, the queen of cats and bacon flavored kitten treats.
The mother of kittens.
Damn right.
Holy shit. Man Squatch, Loki. Everyone's talking about the new Crow movie. But when is the new Tom Servo movie? I don't know. I don't know. The new Crow movie sucks ass.
Yeah,
don't anybody that's like, oh my God, it was so good. No, it does nothing to honor the original comic. It does nothing to honor the original movie. It goes off and does its own thing. There's no reason why they should have called Eric Draven and Shelley Webster. They should have just done a new story. If they'd done a new story, half their problems go out the window. The other half is it's very boring and it's very screwed up. Literally, Eric and Shelley get like completely wasted together. And that goes against everything that the original comic book creator was fighting for and goes against the original movie. So they made them druggies. They made Eric and Shelley a bunch of druggies. And the first time you see Eric, he's in pink. Kiss my ass. Kiss my fat white ass.
Shit. He's in pink? Wow, they went that far, did they?
So,
wow, unbelievable. So yeah, there is no Crow sequel. A Tom Servo movie, though, I would pay to see that.
Old Gamer 72 Cutlass, what is up? Project Storytime, the Wicked Wrench of the East. Loki, work is crazy today. Have a great show. Later chat. Brother, take it easy. Take care. Too bad you can't hop in on Fridays because those are going to be very interesting moving forward over the next, I don't know how many weeks until this wangs of dysentery is over. Wangs of monkeypox.
I like what you did there. That was good.
Wangs of mpox.
They should run with that title. I think a lot more people would probably tune into it just out of sheer curiosity.
No, they absolutely disrespected the original Crow and the original comic. So
it's pretty sad, but
absolutely
par for the course these days. I mean, what do you expect?
Chris Persia, the Wrench of Wrenches, is here. Good morning, Chris. He's also over on the Rumbles with Daphalina. So good morning, Project Cambrian. What is up? The Little Penguin Sheriff Punk Waddle. What's up? Fried Wangs. Yeah, I almost said Yangs.
That's hard.
Fried Yangs, fried Wangs.
It's fried rice, you plick. See, I can't even say it. Trice fried wangs.
To paraphrase Wesley Snipes, there's only one crow. Only ever gonna be one crow. I'll paraphrase him too. as far as the directors for The Crow and the writer for The Crow go, some motherfuckers are still trying to ice skate uphill.
Well said. Well said. Oh yeah.
Yins and yangs wangs. There you go. Fly
Wow.
lice, you plick.
Talk about titty tongue twisters this terrific Monday morning. Wow.
DJ Ronnie G, what is up, brother? I know I saw Mary's game room in here earlier. She's apparently deliciously evil. We got Man Squatch. Let's see. Pat, it's Pat's.
It's
The
Pat.
Dega Outlaw, the mad doctor of Valhalla, ladies and gentlemen. No one gets done like a Dega. I tell you what,
No
he can
one
come out with more books, actual books. He can write
Yeah.
an entire series of novels before that fat pite and son of a bitch can even get out with one comic. So good
And he-
morning, Adega.
And he does it all in his head too. I don't know how he does it. He just cooks it upstairs and then out it comes. It's a genius. And I don't use that word a whole lot.
Soul Assassin, what is up? Some motherfuckers are always trying to fire it uphill. That's right.
Oh,
That's
man.
right. All right. Before we get going, let's check this out.
Do-do-do-do-do-do.
My, what a fine dress you have.
My, what a fine pair of thighs you have.
Oh yeah, I'm thick.
Like look at the size of those things. Now it looks like I gotta say, looks like I'm packing some serious hips in my dress there. That looks nice. And I've even brought our picnic basket.
That's right.
Oh, look, that one's even better. Check out the blue heels on me.
I lost my thighs.
But you gained some feet. Look at those clog stompers, baby.
That's right.
Ow. And it looks like you lost your neck as well.
I got a round head.
But the toque is nice. The toque is very nice.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh, you got to have one of those. We always got to have one of those.
Oh, see, now that's precious. That's just precious. Although I'm starting to get some really heavy Skyrim Dwemer armor vibes going on here, but it's nice. I like the color scheme.
Or I'm a mouthy droid that's slightly homosexual.
Well, you do kind of look like, to be honest, you look a little pissed off. Maybe I said something or I didn't pack your favorite peanut butter and J sandwich. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
But hey, picture's worth 1,000 words.
Or when y'all need to be holding hands in that one.
It's almost like we are, kind of. You can sort of see it. The depth perception kind of gives it away. But man, these are genius.
Thank you, Man Squatch. Thank you so much, brother. That absolutely positively rocks, man. Thank you.
The killer
In
of the mail.
fact, what do we got? What do we got for Man Squatch?
We got a lot.
How about this one, brother? Skull!
You're a very funny man, senor.
That's right. That's right. Okay. So over the weekend, you got to watch. Yeah. Oh yeah. Ow.
He's
Give
back.
us some more Alf this morning.
Woo. Yeah.
I couldn't get Dolly to make a face hugger no matter how I praise it. I imagine you couldn't.
It's okay.
Sucks.
You can all make your own at home. Just go like this. It's all right. They are kind of creepy looking though. I'll give them that. But yeah. So yeah. All right. So Zero finally saw the Romulus installment. And so again, quick spoiler alert, because we are going to get into some
Spoilers. It's
Yeah.
got the little tagline downstairs.
Yeah.
So
Now,
if you're like, why are you guys talking about the stuff that, well, because we let you know, spoilers. There is a ticker down there ticking away saying spoilers.
It's there. So I'm going to get this one right out of the way, and I will try to be famous last words. I'll try to be as brief as I can with all of this because there's a lot to digest here and get into. So right off the bat, I am going to say, this may surprise you, I kind of like this one.
Oh, dude, that's not surprising at all. There's
right.
like at least half the movie I really liked.
All right. So
And then we got to the last half of the movie, and I was like, Did you just go to Ridley and be like, Ridley, I'm going to just copy and paste what you have here.
Oh,
And we're going to take this and put it over here. It's like I'm trying to talk like, the man who made the Xeno.
the Giger man who
The
made
Giger, the
who made
Giger.
the as I point at the penis, and he wants to get kissed in the eye. Yeah, I got Big Chap out here today, baby. We will get into all this. So yeah, I kind of like this one. So really quick, let me just hammer off the big bullet points here to get them out of the way. I thought the environment was good. I thought the cinematography was good.
Excellent. I thought the cinematography was excellent. The
I
camera
thought-
work was great.
Yeah, I thought the practical effects were good. Having full animatronic aliens this day and age was a fantastically refreshing experience. I thought the lighting was good. I could actually see what was going on most of the time. So that being said, this is all kind of par for the course for the Alien franchise, because even the bad movies, and there are bad movies, they still look good. That's kind of a precedent that has been set. So I'm glad to see we didn't fall off with this one. So yeah, the practical effects, lighting, cinematography, the framing, the shooting, all good, all really good. So yeah, I kind of enjoyed this one. I thought it was a pretty decent film. I did, however, not find it to be a really good Alien film. In my opinion, this entire piece or story or environment, whatever you want to do, this would be better. This type of style with this type of director would be better set maybe in, say, the Dead Space universe. I don't think this really
Okay.
I don't think it really pushed it far enough to where it can be in the classification of long-lasting films of the franchise. Because let's face it, there's really only two of them. And that bar is set so damn high, it's kind of hard to vault over it now these days. So I think maybe there's a little bit of a difficult precedent that's been set with everything that's come out sequentially after that. But all that being said, with a story like this and the environment like this, the whole setting where this stuff takes place, it could be easy to do something different and unique to make it stand out. It's also really easy to take that principle and fall off with it. And we already saw that with Prometheus and Covenant, where you take a simple A to B premise and you overcomplicate things when you didn't really need to. And I kind of feel like, and I'll get right into this, the second half of this movie is where all of that started to fall apart. You see, yeah, you see, because I'll tell you, because I can pinpoint this. I can pinpoint this to a specific moment. The moment that Xenomorph popped out of the wall birthing canal, that's when it all started to fall off. It's like the alien itself was a literal symbol of what was happening. It's coming out, and down it goes. That's when it all started to fall for me.
Really? I mean, I got to the lab. So it was like when it got to the lab, I started to see where it was going, and I was like, please don't do this. Please don't do this. Please don't do this. And they did.
And they did, because it was shortly after that Alien came out, because that was kind of the watermark for where everything kind of started to falter. And as soon as they started going into the lab and talking about the goo, I immediately started having gag reflexes, thinking, why are we going here again? You had everything right there. We don't need to go here, guys. You've already made facehuggers scary again. You've made them threatening. You've made them mysterious and cool. Great. That's exactly what they're supposed to be. And now we're falling off with the black goo and the mice and the pregnant lady and all this other stuff we'll get into. But here's the funny part. I tried to go into this with as an open mind as possible. And within the first 5 minutes, I'm already seeing little friendly member berries sprinkled through the whole thing. Like when Rain and Andy are talking at the table and the duck is just right there, point blank range. I'm thinking, really, in the first 5 minutes, you couldn't even try.
Maybe they were a hot item back then. You don't know. Maybe they were. It's like everybody had to have one. You don't know. You know.
Yeah. And I know this sounds like a little bit of nitpicking, and there might be some of that. But I know that the water duck is kind of the running gag of the series. but it's like it was just right there in plain view. I'm thinking you could have put that anywhere else, like halfway through the film, and we'd have went, yeah, there it is. Here's the other thing that really ticked me off. I liked the chemistry between Rain and Andy. I thought they were really good. And I will come out and say this right away. Andy was my favorite character of this movie.
Yes, absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely. Andy was the best, not only the best character, but the best actor too.
Yeah. And here's my problem with that. And I'll explain why. Andy would have been a sympathetic character that you can get behind without the little point I'm going to get into. And maybe I'm looking at this a bit too much, but I haven't seen too many other people bring this up, and I'm trying not to get political with this. But when I see an already sympathetic black character getting randomly beaten in the street by 3 white thug-ass kids, did you think
we don't mean like older teenagers. We mean like kids.
Yeah, but
when we say kids, we mean kids.
Yeah. I mean, did we really have to go there, guys? We have to show something like this, white man bad kind of thing. Maybe I'm looking too much into this, but that is one of the things that stands out. And it stands out because Andy would have had the same effect if that whole entire scenario didn't even take place. I don't think that needed to be in there. But otherwise, I thought Andy was great. I do have a problem remembering everybody else's name.
Tell me, that's one of the things I brought up last week was tell me the name of the chick that the Xenomorph popped out of.
Okay. I remember this because I had to jog my memory on it, but we'll see if chat can figure it out.
Does anybody in chat remember the name of the chick that the alien came out of?
Yep.
Does anybody remember the name of the crew member that died in the original Alien from a chest burster? Yeah. Everybody remembers his name.
Yeah.
Does anybody remember the name of the chick that and the dumbass decision they made?
While they're figuring that out, it was G.W. Kane in the first one, by the way. But while they're trying to crack that code, I will say her, not Preggers, because I don't know her name either, but the bald one. Not the pregnant chick, Chris Persia, but the bald one. Who therefore shall be known henceforth as Preggers, because I don't know her name.
Pregnant chick that got pregnant by her brother.
Yeah. I will say I thought bald chick, her birthing scene with the chest burster, I thought that was actually pretty good.
Yeah, so did I. Absolutely.
She was convulsing there, and she was, frothing at the mouth, and it looked vicious. It was all of that. So I thought that was good. I still have an issue with how fast that goddamn thing gestated inside her and grew to full size, considering that facehugger canonically was not on her long enough for that to happen. That would be like a one pump jump between a man and a woman. They go in for a quickie and there it is. To me, it just doesn't work like that. But here's the other issue I have. And there are a lot of issues. There was a lot I liked about this movie. There's a lot I didn't like. The fact that these kids end up looking so stupid and it all stemmed from the part of, there's a derelict thing floating up in space and it might have cryopods. We should go up and get it. Did nobody notice they were trying to do this? Like, why didn't anyone else from Way U come and salvage what they needed off that thing? They just left it up there to crash into the rings.
Well, they didn't know it was up there. They didn't know it was there. Okay,
exactly. So, you mean to tell me no one on that colony knew that thing was up there?
Yep, because of the cloud level over the planet, because there's only a few ships that go up past that cloud barrier.
You mean
nobody knew the damn thing was up there, and the station was all off. So this is what they expect you to believe. And no, I haven't seen anybody bring this up yet. That station was not in orbit originally of that planet. They said somehow it came in and got caught by the planet's gravity and went into orbit. That's why the orbit was decaying. So somehow a space station, a way used space station, just happened to be picked up by the gravity well of that planet and came into orbit and was able to sustain orbit until it hit the rings of the planet.
Yeah. Now I get the accuracy behind it, and I get how it happened, but I just think, oh, how convenient for the plot that our main characters are the only ones who notice this thing. It's that those tiny little things, and it's like, oh, well, there it is. And you mentioned nobody noticed it because of the cloud cover. Dude, they flew 10 minutes up above the cloud cover and found it. How did they know it was up there in the first place? And I love the fact that they get in the ship and they're taking off, and the little APC vehicles or robot buddies are just driving past like,
Well, they do runs up above the atmosphere in that cargo hauler.
So I get that. It's just one of those things that are peppered in where it's kind of like, all right, I'll let it go. But again, like I said, you're probably going to hear some nitpicks from my case anyway. But these are just the tiny things. The other thing I do have to mention because there's a pro and con for everything. That's what's so ironic about this. It's like a 50-50 for the whole movie. I liked the first half. Didn't really care for the second half. Everything's a yin and yang. So when Preggers is crawling through the tunnel and that Xeno is on top on the grill work there, when Buddy over there is like looking for her, when she's there and she's trembling, I'm looking right in her eyes, and you know what? I'm kind of buying the fear factor here. She looked petrified. She looked like she was trembling and quaking in her boots for her life. I thought that was really good. The actors and actresses in this one did some. Yeah, where was the station before that? Who the hell?
That's the question.
Yeah, that is the question. Maybe we'll get a sequel about that. But I thought a lot of them did really good jobs with some of the material they were provided with. That being said, I couldn't help myself when she was trying to run away from said Xenomorph sometime later. And she goes through the door and then falls down that ladder well. I'm not gonna lie. I laughed.
She does a header, folks. It's not just like, oh, I fell. No, it's like Shredder off the top of the building.
Yeah, because
boom, like bounces off the I-beam, and you're like, no, there's no way. And then she's like, 2 minutes later, up and mobile, and you're like,
yeah, it was, and blame me for being a little bit insensitive, but I laughed because that to me was a little bit comedic, and I know it shouldn't have been, but it was, because she's, like just free falling all the way down the ladder. So there's kind of a pro and con for everything. The other thing that I know you brought up last week, well, there's a couple major points here we have to get into. One of them, Loki probably already knows where I'm going to go. Everybody's kind of gone here already. First of all, that the one scene where they're trying to stealth the way through the Facehuggers and shit. All right. Cool premise. Cool idea. Not bad. It's a little bit tense. I get it. You got to do something, and all we got at this point is Facehuggers. You might as well try to do something with it. But the fact that these dumbasses are walking through, and Andy's leading the way, he's already way up there because, well, the Facehuggers probably wouldn't give a shit about him anyway because he's synthetic.
He's synthetic,
but
so they don't care.
Yeah, he's all the way up there. He's leading the way, and then these dumbasses get on their effing comm sets and start talking when they're right in the middle of these damn things. Like shut the damn thing off, break it, get rid of it. You'll find another one later. Why would you start talking at a time like that?
Just turn it off.
That just made no sense to me whatsoever.
Turn off your comms.
Turn it off. That's all you got to do. Tell them, hey, we're going into Facehugger territory here, or whatever their terminology is in that universe. Hey, we got to walk past all these things. We got to go radio silent. We'll talk to you on the other side. Done. Problem solved. No. Oh, got these things all around us and shit. Yep. Clouds are looking kind of cloudy. Might rain later on. Look pretty good. Oh shit, gotta go. Like, why? It's just moments like that that just when things go up, things like that bring it back down again. And it's those head scratching moments, the ones where you slap yourself in the forehead saying, why? Why are you so stupid? Why? I don't understand that. The other thing I forgot to mention is, because I know a lot of other prominent personalities out there have brought this up, which I agree with, is it was actually pretty cool to see life in the colony, the workforce, the blue collar people and stuff like that, because realistically we only got hints of that in Aliens, and most of that was after the fact.
Here's the deal, and here's something that Ridley's talked about behind the scenes a bunch of times. Okay, there's this ad, and you'll hear it over and over again in Blade Runner. Okay, Blade Runner connects with Alien, and you'll hear this ad. Start a new life in the colonies. Begin again in a glorious utopia where, you can do whatever you want. No. These colonies are all mining operations where they're getting ore and metal and all kinds of shit. And they're basically, you're just cannon fodder to these companies. It's not like, oh, we're going to go to this place and there's going to be all these trees and it's going to be nature. And no, they're all like this shitty planet. Mm-hmm. They're absolutely all like this shitty planet that they're stuck on at the beginning of this movie. And Wei Yu's just got more meat for the grinder, boys. That's why when she's like, I want to go to this other planet, that fat mustache wearing hog that she talks to is like, nope, we just doubled your required points.
Yeah.
And she's stuck there. They're never going to let her leave. Once you're there, you can check out anytime you like, but you're never leaving that planet.
Yeah.
You're stuck there. You're stuck on that colony. They're not going to let you move. Period. End of. Not happening.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. So it was nice to see certain aspects of that, but yeah, all fair points. And again, it may sound like nitpicking, and let's be realistic, guys. The first Alien movie, as high regarded as it is, it's not a flawless film. I totally understand that. There's, for example, because we'll get into this later, the hard cut that they did with Ash's fake head, and then they did the hard cut to his real head. Because the fake one just wasn't working. It didn't look right, so they did the hard cut to his real head. That's a mistake. There was some sound mistakes in the original too. There's,
look at what they had to work with.
Exactly.
And Ridley was fighting for that movie. And of course, this is back when Ridley Scott could actually make a good movie.
Yeah.
I don't think he can anymore. I think he's gone so far off the reservation and drinks so much wine that his brain's permanently in wine mode and wine mode that he just can't do it. He just can't make a movie.
Yeah. But that being said, even back then, the good far outweighs the bad. There's very few mistakes. There's very few mistakes in Jim Cameron's Aliens. Shout out to my fellow Canadian. And, like Shrike 1988 said, why did Kane stick his face in the egg? Well, first, we hadn't really seen too much of that. And of course, you got to do something to get that initial jump scare in, so I understand that. But, that being said, this day and age, that's kind of a trope. It's cliche. We've all seen it a million times. But back then, not so much. But it's still kind of a thing. So speaking of Ash, because let me just beat this dead horse out of the way.
Here we go.
How in the blue hell did that deep fake ass looking CGI horrible AI generated face on Ash get anywhere past post-production when they were making this goddamn movie? That looked like utter crap.
This was meant to be a streaming service only movie. This was not originally intended to go to theaters.
Even so,
they didn't care about the quality of the Ash CGI. So Rook is the name of the Ash android
Mhm.
in this movie.
Yeah.
Rook is supposed to look like Ash.
Mhm.
The CGI for this, the deep fake, was absolute ass.
Yep.
It was laughable. It was like late 2000, early 2010 game level
Mhm.
CGI.
Yep. And
Okay. And if it was a game, if I was looking at this in a video game, I would go, and move on. But this is a movie that you decided to release in theaters.
yeah.
You go back over it and you make sure it's perfect instead of being lazy. And this was lazy. I'm sorry, but it was lazy.
Yep. It was. And it's funny because because you and I were talking about this backstage last week. I said I understand they wanted to get more familiarity and member berries in the movie. So let's put the goddamn Ash android in there and call him Rook. I get it. Haha, Bishop, Rook, kind of cool. But anyway, still, it's like, well, this was made for streaming services. Yeah, it doesn't matter. It was still bought and paid for. Millions and millions of dollars went into this thing. I still don't understand how somebody greenlit this thing. All the eyes on the product watched this thing in post-production while they were putting it all together and said, yep, it's good. Meanwhile, you've got all these other fantastic practical effects out there, full-size aliens included, that look a million times better. And normally I wouldn't care so much, but it's the fact that this was lazy because they just slapped it on there and said, yeah, that's good enough. There was a million ways they could have got around this. They could have just had a voiceover. But we want the alien. We want the Ash android. Well, too bad. Either do it right or don't put it in there. Put another friggin' android in there and say this one worked on the station. But we want familiarity. Well, then you're directing yourselves into a corner with this.
And Shrike is right. They made this on the cheap. They did.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
they made this on the cheap. This was going to be a Hulu exclusive movie, and they decided, you know what? Let's put it out in theaters. Yeah. And they've made a lot of money.
They have
made a lot of money.
Yes, they have.
For this cheap of a film. It's rated R. They made their money back and then some. So there's going to be more, and and Betty Alvarez is going to do another one. My problems center around the fact that about halfway through the movie, you start noticing the direction they're going. You go, please don't do this. Yeah. And they do it anyway. And you're like, okay, so this is like the reverse ending in 4, but it still dies in the airlock or still dies getting sucked out into space. And then, and I don't care whether Ridley Scott was like, oh, I would be honored if you would copy and paste my ending and put it into your movie. I don't give a shit what Ridley said. They copy and pasted Ripley's exact dialogue for Rain. So he just, Rain, the last survivor of the storage ship or the transport ship, whatever. No one, you're not a crew member.
No.
You weren't a crew member on this ship. You weren't, this wasn't a posting.
You weren't even
hitched
supposed
a
to be up
ride
there.
for your android. That's it. You weren't even supposed to be there. Last survivor of the hopply dopply ship.
And case in point right there, she's going back into the lion's den, into the nest to save her android. Hello, Ripley and Newt. Anybody? We've seen this before. I love Andy. Andy was great. But god damn, it's like you see things like this and you didn't even try. And I'm going to Yeah, exactly. They copied from everything. Like, hello, I want to take all these people and say, get away from the script, you bitch. Because they even had to throw that in there.
They even threw that in there.
Oh, and
I was surprised Andy didn't like stutter. Get away from her, you bitch.
No kidding. And I'm gonna beat this one more time and be done with it. That CGI face never would have happened, and it wouldn't have been such a strong point for me if, no word of lie, not even an hour later on YouTube, I see a freaking video clip of a fan-made little orphan Arnie Schwarzenegger singing Shirley Temple songs that looked 8 billion times better than what was in this movie. Come on, guys. All right. Done. dusted. So when everything starts falling off, it starts falling off fast. And my biggest issue at that point was I'm starting to just wait for these people to start getting picked off one by one, because they've been,
You don't have to wait long.
no, because as great as the first half was, the second half just kind of starts swirling that all down the toilet.
I was surprised there weren't as many people as I thought. I thought there'd be at least a dozen of these kids, and they had what, five?
Something
five
like
plus
that.
Andy.
Yeah.
Okay, so you had girl that gives birth to Chestburster. You had her
Navarra.
boyfriend. You had the brother, the sister, Rain, and Andy. That's it.
Yeah.
You've got 6 people on the station with the android. So 5 humans. That's it. I was like, wow, the trailers made it feel like there was like a group, like a dozen of these kids on the station. That's not, There's only 5 human beings.
Yeah.
So,
you know, and which is fine in itself if you want to continue going with the whole claustrophobic environment, stuff like that. You know, I get it. That's understandable. But I mean, when we started getting into black goo territory again with all that going on, and I just had another thought and I lost it. But we start going down that road again, and I'm thinking, guys, we don't need to go here. I don't understand it. There's a million things you could do to be original in an environment like this.
really quick, thank you, John. Thank you, brother. Good to see you, brother. Keep kicking ass and taking names. Guys, if you aren't subscribed to John E-Hacker, make sure you go and check out his channel. Absolutely wonderful guy. And thank you for the 100 yen super chat. Thank you, brother. Very much.
Awesome.
Skull and tuck and roll, bro.
Damn right. The other thing, because I know chat's on fire. I'm trying not to ignore you guys, but we got a lot to go through in a short time to get there. It's like, oh God forbid they do a part 3 next week. No, don't worry about it.
And Project Cambrian, yes, the practical effects and the visuals, and man, it is all there.
It is.
And all of that is great. All of that is great. All that stuff is great. The practical effects, the visuals, the cinematography, except for Rook. The deep fake with Rook just is ass. But all of that's great. And I want to ask you a question, because I was thinking about this last week. Take away the fact that it's an alien movie and just make this a sci-fi horror movie. What does it become then?
It becomes a neat little science fiction horror movie, you know? And like I said earlier,
I would think it'd be up there with like the OG Thing and movies like that. The problem is that we've all seen this before. So for someone coming in who's never seen Alien, who's like, I've never watched these movies before, they see this, they're gonna be like, oh, that was scary as shit and wicked, and I love the end, and I can totally see that happening.
Yeah, well, so you know, so a lot of people out there say it, you know, and
because
a lot of people,
I got told you're too in love with aliens, and I was like, excuse me, you're too in love with aliens. What do you mean I'm too in love with Aliens? Aliens is a badass movie. You're so attached to that, just that you can't see the other movies for what they are. And I said, Alien 3, the original theatrical cut, dog shit. Alien Resurrection, I like the fact that Ripley comes back. Again, some of the scenes are absolutely badass. The epic is absolutely badass. I love some of the characters in it. The whole, it's giving birth for you, Ripley.
that's Ripley's gift to her, and it's sitting there.
I absolutely detested that, and I detested it here too.
Yeah.
So I hate both those. I hate that.
Yeah.
Okay, Prometheus.
Again,
My problem with Prometheus is these are supposed to be some of the most intelligent people Earth has to offer. And the motherfucker's like, oh, look, It's a snake. I'm gonna stick my hand in its mouth
Oh well,
and see what happens.
Loki,
And
they were still kind of high at the time.
I don't
Doesn't
give
matter.
a shit.
Doesn't matter.
I don't
Doesn't
give
matter.
a shit if they were high or not. Okay, Covenant.
It was more. the same.
Blow. You do the fingering. And you're just like, oh, don't no, David kissing David,
Yeah, like,
and you, or David kissing Walter, and you're like, dude, seriously, okay, and explain this to me. Okay, explain this to me. You are going out to another planet to reproduce. Everyone on this ship is there to go to another planet and have babies. Every single person is vital to the mission. You must have babies. The two security guys are married to each other. They ain't having no babies.
They're not
unless they're having butt babies. So unless they're having pooper scooper babies, they ain't having no babies.
This shit.
So how does that work? How do you go how do you go, okay, every person is vital, but you know what? We're going to let the two security guys that are married to each other, we're going to let them go and they can just have poop babies.
My guess is maybe they're all just swingers and that was never established. Who knows? But
so that was one of my issues. Covenant has a lot bigger issues than that.
Yeah.
But then you go to this and you're like, I want a dozen Gen Zers running around getting hunted and taken out by the alien. And I will never forgive them for not giving us Big Chap hunting down the scientists.
Yeah.
You have the original alien, and you're going to make a story where the original alien from Alien is hunting down, and then, your defense is you shouldn't compare it to the original movie. You've got the original alien from Alien running around Big Chap, taking people out left and right, but you never get to see any of that.
Yep. Yeah, and it's rough. And I hear that too. You shouldn't compare it to the other movies. Well, here, I'm going to rest my case right here. How do I not compare it to the other movies when this movie is littered with references to the other movies? Like I said, half of these things are just thrown in there like they weren't even trying. I don't understand that. References and member berries are great, but it's like the whole thing just had this stuff put in there. I mean, Jesus, we didn't even talk about the pulse rifles. She's sitting there, and I'll forgive the fact that this one rifle has 500 goddamn rounds in the thing in the first place. But she's sitting there just mowing the shit out of these aliens. It's like, oh well, Zero, she was just taking point, and they were all coming at her like this, and it has auto aiming. Yeah, I don't care. Because the team of Marines were taking point in a confined space, and they were mowing the shit out of those things when they were breaking through the goddamn roof and coming up through the floor, and their rifles didn't have no auto aim on it, and they got their asses kicked, man. But yet we can Mary Sue the shit out of this one, and that's totally okay. And considering the fact that her 500 rounds dropped down to 20% and then zero, no pun intended, and yet she's still mowing fuckers down and facehuggers and shit like that when she's already been out of ammo for 10 minutes. It's just little things like that just make me feel stupid when you say, oh, well, there you go. The Gen Z's just ruining it all. And then you got the other people out there saying, I'm so sick of hearing people say this movie sucks because it's full of Gen Z. Well, that's because Gen Z has a reputation and a taint nowadays that nobody likes. And when we see cases like this, where these actors or their characters are just doing stupid things, what are we supposed to think? I don't understand that.
Dumbass colonists.
Yep. Jeez. And not that there's anything wrong with this, because the whole franchise was based on this whole entire strong figure. But it's like, even from watching the trailer several months ago, it's like, oh, it's a new Alien film. Oh, there it is. There's our strong female sole survivor. It's like
I don't much mind that as
I
long
don't-
as it's good.
I don't mind that, but it's like every film since then has done the same thing.
Well, that's why I
single
said
one.
I wish they had all gotten taken out. Snowed Up with $2 super chat gives us a skull and tuck and roll, and I think we need to give him a skull and tuck and roll back. Skull and tuck and roll. We get a tuck and roll.
Ooh.
We get a tuck and roll. We get a tuck and roll.
You're fired.
Honestly, Snowdub's version of that is we know. So it's like he's got the scene from Braveheart where I am the expert in war, and military tactics. Say,
Really?
you know.
Tell me, what is your opinion?
Tuck and
of-
roll, bitch.
My people, ladies and gentlemen. So let me just clarify. There's nothing wrong with a strong female character. I just think they make too fine a point on it when they do. You know, I mean, from the trailer to film ending.
It's almost like saying that horror movies in general, look, it's always going to be a chick.
Mhm.
Okay, so I have no problem with that.
Yeah.
But at least once, do something brave and just take everybody out.
Yeah.
Okay, you could have taken everybody out. You could have killed everybody, and the Xeno would have still died from the impact of the station into the rings of the planet.
Mhm.
So, like, you know, the station's going down. She's trying to get to the ship. She gets to the ship. The alien takes her out just as, like, everything's getting disintegrated. And, you know, that's the end of the movie. And
Yeah.
people walk out and they're like, damn,
Damn.
no one made it.
Yeah.
No one made it.
Because if they were planning for a sequel, even if they weren't, what a note to go out on. That would have been, you know, unless the Film Academy or something says no, every monster must be destroyed by films or there must be at least one survivor. Blah blah blah. Happy ending. Blah blah blah. Bullshit. Having all of them get wiped out, that would have been awesome.
And Snowda, some of the movie's really good. The cinematography was really good. There was some stuff by Andy that Andy did that was really good.
Yeah.
Listen, changing your entire persona in a movie, like in the movie, for a good reason. I'm not talking about like, you know, oh, suddenly this character was doing this and then went 180-degree turn for absolutely no reason. No, but being like, hello, I'm Andy. I make puns to the Xenomorph life cycle is approximately 32 months and 0.3 days. And you're just like, there's this shift.
It was the flip.
It was good acting. He
Yeah.
stole the movie.
Legit flip of the switch. Two characters.
But and like I said, the special effects was great. The real having a real alien there instead of CGI nonsense.
Yeah.
Absolutely great. There were things about it that were great and that get totally lost by a shitty ending that is copy and pasted from other alien movies.
Mm-hmm. And
where do you think they need to go from here? Because obviously they're going to make more. They're going to make more, and they're going to use Betty.
They're getting their money, so obviously they're probably thinking all the pieces are in place. And to a point, they're right. All the pieces were in place. They were there. We had a fantastic first half of this thing. It was a second half that fell off, like we've already stated clearly. You know, when everything was just starting to get a little convoluted, like the black goo, we didn't need to go there. And the one thing we haven't even brought up, the hybrid. Okay. I will say this as a standalone creature. Yeah, it looked pretty cool. The birthing scene. Wow. Seeing an actual birth in one of these movies, like a legit birth. That
Baby
was
2.0.
Yeah, that was
okay.
that was something else.
So for anybody who hasn't seen this, let me explain something real quick. Dumbass pregnant chick that's like having her brother's baby injects herself with this stuff they were working on the station, having no idea what it's going to do to her.
I had to ask that too, because I even had, sorry to interrupt, but I actually had to rewind this part and say, wait, was she even there when they were explaining what this black goo does? Did she overhear that somehow? Because we go from that and then suddenly she's just injecting herself with it.
So she was in the lab. She didn't see what happened to the mice, the mouse that took it. She just saw like that fact that it repaired it and fixed it. The problem is she's pregnant.
Yeah.
So a pregnant chick going, so she's giving, they put her in a cryo and the cryo starts going off. Meep, 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 meep. And Rain pulls her out of the cryo tube and she's giving birth. And she literally gives birth to an alien egg.
Yeah.
Okay. And it's full of acid, which I don't understand why I didn't kill her. It's full of acid. And there's a baby in the acid in the egg. What?
And
Loki,
yeah.
are you kidding me? No, I'm not kidding you.
No.
So she picks up the egg and she throws the egg.
With little alien baby face in the damn thing too. Like that's gonna be a tough image.
It's got like a baby's face.
Yeah.
You know, like the Gerber baby in the alien egg.
Exactly.
And within a minute's time, 60 seconds, it goes from baby and alien egg to full grown engineer alien human hybrid.
Yeah. And let's not kid ourselves. Like we know Big Chap is big. It's like 7 feet tall in the movie. This friggin' hybrid thing was pushing like 8-9 feet tall. This fucker was huge. So yeah, it was creepy looking, but again, I'll let you go where you're gonna go with that.
We've seen shit like this before in Alien Resurrection. So I'm just like, I'm disappointed at this point. I'm very disappointed in the writing. And then at the end, at the very end of the movie, after everything's said and done, it's Rain and Andy by themselves again, the way we started this movie. And she's giving Ripley's fucking speech from Alien.
Yep.
This is colonists, Rain, blah 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 of the stupid cargo ship. The doobly-doo, the goobly-gah. Hopefully we'll make it to our new home and somebody will find us. And I'm like,
you know,
you just copy and pasted Alien. That's
well,
all you've done is you've copy and pasted Alien.
In addition to everything else, you know, I mean, it was the exact same thing. You know, it's like, oh, guys, remember when Ripley did this? We're doing it. Yeah, we don't care. You didn't have to do it. If they wanted to end it with Rain and Andy, great. Those two were good together. I liked Rain. Don't get me wrong. I liked Rain. I liked her and Andy together. I thought it was a good dynamic. You know, but again, they're probably playing up on the whole Ripley Newt kind of thing. I understand that. You know, androids, for a lot of it, haven't got a whole lot of love, considering David's kind of been an evil character in the last 2 Alien films. So they wanted to have a sympathetic one. Great, cool. Andy stole the goddamn show. Him and Rain were good together. I enjoyed that. But when you end a movie filled with references on a huge ass friggin' reference from the first one, man, it's like, did you guys try it all with stuff like this? You didn't need to do that. It did not. Just show them sitting at the friggin' dinner table talking like they opened the movie with, or a few minutes in. Just have them do that as their ship just floats away before they get into cryo and shit. Oh, and do we even mention the fact that Rain's trying to fight the hybrid, and in order to do that, she sneaks off and crawls into the spacesuit to try and get rid of it? Yeah, does that sound
like
familiar? Come on, guys. So anyway, to summarize everything, because I know we're going over and I've beaten this to a pulp by now, I enjoyed it. I just don't think it's a very good Alien film. It would be great taking place in another cinematic universe, or whatever you want to call it. There's a lot I liked. There's a lot I didn't like. So I came out kind of 50-50 on this. But that being said, the fact that it's making money, is still pretty cool because when you boil it all down to it, that is a win for the franchise. But again, it's not a high bar to step over. So what does that really tell you at the end of the day anyway?
So we got a couple of super chats before we get out of here. Orville Nation PJ with $2 super chat for two of the best YouTuber radio guys out there. Thank you so very much, brother. It is very much appreciated. Machiny Draws with a $2 super chat. We're ready to go, brothers. Guys, make sure you go over to Machiny's. We will redirect here in just a minute. And we've got a $2 Rumble rant from Justice Datalina that says, I'm so sick of all these strong female leads. Give me some more toxic men or even an average man at this point. I don't like most female leads in action movies or video games.
Hell yeah.
Can't argue with you there, Arlena.
Nope.
Anime Confusa, who has been a member for 4 months, says, have a great week, nerds. Thank you so very much, Anima. Thank you, Jesters, Darth, Arlena. Thank you guys so very much. Thank you, PJ. Thank you, Machiny. We'll be back later today at 11 p.m. or at 11 a.m. Oh my God. Almost at 11 p.m. 11 a.m. for Positively Positive with PJ, where we talk about freedom versus control. That is at 11 a.m. That's in 2 hours. So guys, we'll be back then. Make sure you get redirected over to Machiny's after this. Guys, take care. Be excellent to each other. Always speak friend to enter. We're getting out of here. Have a great one, everybody.
These videos are tremendous. Like, comment, and subscribe, and hammer that notification bell.
Good stuff. Bring back life form. Priority 1. All other priorities rescinded. I repeat, all other priorities are rescinded. You still don't understand what you're dealing with, do you? The perfect organism. Its structural perfection is matched only by its hostility. I admire its purity. A survivor, unclouded by conscience, remorse, or delusions of morality. I can't lie to you about your chances, but you have my sympathies.
These videos are tremendous. Like, comment, and subscribe, and hammer that notification bell.